it's your buddy Moo Juice Magic here, and if there's something that gets me going, it's technology and military technology. If you're a gamer, you should be really into what we're about to hear. This is a press briefing from El Presidente himself, El Trumpo, and politics or not, I've listened to a few seconds of this, and from what I've heard already, it's dope and hella frightening. So let's watch this together, shall we? Let's do this like a family.
United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first sixth-generation fighter jet. Number six, sixth generation. Nothing in the world comes even close to it. And it'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked a title. And it's a beautiful number, F-47. It's something the likes of which nobody has seen before in terms
Okay, look, I like Trumpo enough, but the hubris behind F-47, come on.
of all of the attributes of a fighter jet. There's never been anything even close to it, from speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload. And this has been in the works for a long period of time. After a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies, the Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next generation air dominance platform to Boeing.
Boeing?
As you know, was highly
because their wings don't
competed
fall
for.
off
There was a lot of competition, generals, and it's been going on for a long time. Very tough competition, but this plane is produced numbers that nobody's ever seen before. The F-47 will be the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft ever built. An experimental version of the plane has secretly been flying for almost 5 years, and we're confident that it massively overpowers the capabilities of any other nation. There's no other nation. We know every other plane. I've seen every one of them, and it's not even close. This is a next level.
This comes after China.
You know, level 5 is good. This is level 6, they say. The F-47 is equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology. It's virtually unseeable and unprecedented power. It's got the most power of any jet of its kind ever made. Maneuverability, likewise, is there's never been anything like it, despite the power and speed. Its speed is top. It's over 2, which is something that you don't hear very often.
Mach 2.
America's enemies will never see it coming. Hopefully we won't have to use it for that purpose, but you have to have it.
Literally won't see it.
If it ever happens, they won't know what the hell hit them. A new fleet of these magnificent planes will be built in the air during my administration over the next couple of years. It's ready to go. They've already built much of what has to be built in terms of production, including the sheds. Will ensure that the USA continues to dominate the skies. We've given an order for a lot. We can't tell you the price because it would give way to some of the technology and some of the size of the plane, good-sized plane.
Like that's not true.
This contract also represents a historic investment in our defense industrial base, helping to keep America at the cutting edge of aerospace and technology. Our allies are calling constantly. They want to buy them also, and certain allies will be selling them, perhaps toned-down versions.
Yeah.
I'd like to tone them down about 10%.
Or
which
less.
Probably makes sense, because someday maybe they're not our allies, right?
No
But
shit.
I would like to ask Secretary Hegseth, who's doing a fantastic job. He's really been very inspiring in so many ways, and I must say that before he speaks, we have had record people wanting to join our military in the last.
Okay, look, for all the Trumpisms aside, Hegseth always looks like he's ready to fight. This is not a man you want to throw hands with. Look at him. He even looks at the president like, dude, I could take you. If Hegseth doesn't run for president at some point, or VP, I would be totally shocked. But look at this plane, though, in this image here. That's a good-looking plane right there. I don't know about the 47. That's all about Trump, for sure.
2.5 months, literally since this, I think probably since the election, November 5th, but especially since we came to office and since I announced Pete He's young, he's smart, he's strong, he loves it, and they love him. But we've had record numbers of people wanting to join our military. Now, if you go back 6 months, it was the exact opposite. You had record numbers of people not wanting to join the military. Now you have record numbers of people wanting to be in our military.
Odd.
And that's a great honor. That shows you we're really on the right track. So, Pete, maybe you'd say a few words.
Sure.
Please.
Well, Mr. President, this is a big day. This is a big day for our warfighters. This is a big day for our country, a big day in the world. The name of this program is the Next Generation of Air Dominance. And Mr. President, because of your leadership, your clarity, America is going to have generations in the future of air dominance because of this 6th generation fighter. We've had the F-15, we have had the F-16, the F-18, the F-22, the F-35. Now we have the F-47, which sends a very direct, clear message to our allies that we're not going anywhere, and to our enemies that we will be able to project power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come. Mr. President, this is a gift to my kids and your kids, to my grandkids and your grandkids.
And our
this is a historic investment in the American military, in the American industrial base, in American industry that will help revive the warrior ethos inside our military, which we're doing, rebuild our military, which the previous administration did not do, by the way, Mr. President. They paused this program, and we're prepared to potentially scrap it. We know this is cheaper, longer range, and more stealthy. President Trump said we're reviving it, and we're doing it. And then we are also going to reestablish deterrence. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools.
Yes,
not anymore.
We did.
President Trump has reestablished American leadership. The F-47 is part of it. And Mr. President, thank you for having the courage to do it and leading the way for all our warfighters.
I love Maggie, man. Next up is cool, man.
One of the things I will say, but the generals are going to speak in just a couple of seconds, but this plane flies with drones. It flies with many, many drones, as many as you want, and it's a technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones, as many as we want. And
okay, so you guys remember when all the drones were going up all over the country? He said they're ours. Who knows?
Something that no other plane can do. So I'd like to introduce, if I might, Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin, and also General Dale White, two incredible people that I've known over the years, but I got to know them really well over the last few months. And would you say a few words, please, General?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for your unwavering commitment to our military. I will say this is a big day. This is a big day for our United States Air Force as well. You know, air dominance is not a birthright, but it's become synonymous with American air power. But air dominance needs to be earned every single day. And since the earliest days of aerial warfare, brave American airmen have jumped into their machines, taken to the air, and they've cleared the skies. And whether that be clearing the skies so we can rain down destruction on our enemies from above, or we can clear the path to the ground forces below. That's been our commitment to the fight, and that's really been our promise to America. And with this F-47 as the crown jewel in the next generation air dominance family of systems, we're going to be able to keep that promise well into the future. I also want to thank everyone from industry and with the government, our engineers, who have worked tirelessly on this program to bring it where we are right now today. This shows that American talent, American skill, and American determination are second to none, because this platform is second to none. So we believe that this provides more lethality, it provides more capability, more modernized capability in a way that is built to adapt.
More lethality, really?
This, along with our collaborative combat aircraft the President talked about with drones, this is allowing us to look into the future and unlock the magic that is human-machine teaming. And as we do that, we're going to write the next generation of modern aerial warfare with this.
Hold on. Human-machine teaming? What? Are you saying what I think you're saying, sir? I wish you would clarify that statement, because that, I mean, we've been using machines forever, so human-machine teaming, what is that supposed to mean? Like, we're jacking into it mentally and matrixing, or what? Or is it just you have better machines? One thing I want to know is if this thing carries a bunch of drones, are there going to be separate drone pilots? And how big is this thing? Like, is this thing going to be full of drone pilots as well as the pilots of the craft? At that speed, I can't imagine that it would be that big enough to house all that, unless it'd be incredibly uncomfortable. Or if there's ground station drone operators, or if they're independently used drones, like the drones are programmed to follow marks, like laser marks and guidance and stuff. That's the only way, personally. I don't know anything about this. I have to talk to my Air Force buddy about this because he knows this stuff. But this is news to me. Like, I don't know anything about this. Is like video game stuff to me. Like, this is really cool stuff. Unless the wrong person gets in control of our government, or if our wrong enemies get a hold of it, the wrong ally flips the switch. That's why Trump was saying we'll cut them down by 10% for those guys if they get them. Like, yeah, definitely, or more. Cut it down less than that. Give them less than 10%. Give them, like, way less capability. I don't want that to be equal to our stuff. I want air superiority over everyone all the time, period. As a person who, if you're looking from a military perspective, I want 100% capability everywhere over everyone. When they're at 80%, I want 150% of superiority, whether it be air, land, or sea, or space, or whatever. But this sounds super freaking cool.
This enables us to do this. The manner in which we put this program together puts more control in the hands of the government, so we can update and adapt at the speed of relevance, at the speed of technology, not at the speed of bureaucracy. This is more Air Force.
Hold on. Did he just say we want less bureaucracy and more efficiency, so we're going to give more control to the government? I know this is a different presidency than we're used to, and I know, like, the whole Doge thing is going through, and me as an efficient person, the government doesn't do efficient things. If you've ever heard of military grade, any grunt, any soldier will tell you that means it's crap. It means they're getting the slogs of it. We've been in conflicts where we've sent weapons to our allies that were better than the weapons our guys on the ground fighting the same conflict were carrying. So I know things have changed with this presidency, and I trust Hegseth because Hegseth's an actual boot kicker. He's a door kicking guy. He is a boots on the ground kind of dude, soldier, an actual soldier, and I appreciate that greatly, that he's in that position. So I do trust him for that. I don't know, man. Like, some of this seems, get your EMP guns ready in case there's a takeover. It's all I'm saying, man. You never know when you're going to need them.
This is more options for the president. We say as our mission in the United States Air Force is to fly, fight, and win air power anytime, anywhere. If you want to go anywhere, you have to have a platform that gets you anywhere. This provides the president options from the very one end, which is a quick response, and then we can get right back into fighting stance without having to deploy troops that are going to take maybe months and cost more lives. We can be back in fighting stance, and maybe we restore that deterrence. All the way to decisive victory as part of a joint force that is the most lethal and capable military ever known in history. That's what we provide now, and this allows us to provide it into the future. It's more deterrence, more capability. It's what peace through strength looks like into the future, Mr. President. And so we're very proud to do that. And all we can say is, on behalf of the United States Air Force, let's deliver.
Thank you very much. Thank you, General. Would you like to say something?
No, sir, I'll just double check what the chief said.
He knows what to do.
Generational.
He knows who the boss is.
That's exactly right. Air superiority is what it's all about, and this is what we'll deliver.
That's great. Thank you very much. Great job. We've worked together long and hard on this, and this was a big secret. In fact, we don't show too much of the plane for that reason. You see what we show?
Oh, there's so much I want to know about it now, though.
You see how beautiful that is, but that's just a very small part of it.
Sure.
I wasn't surprised. I was wondering how much are you going to show when they came in with that. You see a wheel in the front? That's about it. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
80,000 pages of documents is a lot to sift through.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us who killed Kennedy?
Well, I was given the task of releasing that because many presidents have gone through it and they haven't released. And I said, release. We even released Social Security numbers. I didn't want anything deleted. They said, sir, what about Social Security? People
They
long
didn't
gone.
redact it?
But they're long gone, so I can't imagine. But I said, if you don't delete it, if you do delete it, we have people are going to say, why did you delete it? There's something in there. So we gave Social Security, we gave everything. And the rest is for you to look at, Peter. You're going to see whether or not you see anything. But we've given it. We're doing it with Dr. Martin Luther King, too. They're preparing all of that. They're going to release everything. And whoever else they want. I mean, we have nothing. We really have nothing to hide. We shouldn't have. When a lot of time goes by. But with the Kennedy files, in particular, they were going crazy on them. I don't think there's anything that's earth-shattering, but you'll have to make that determination. In those, it's 80,000. It's actually 88,000, and we have some additional things, as you know, come out today. And for that, you can go to the offices and you can see whatever you want to see. Everything is out there, totally open.
1,000 pages?
The additional stuff is available later on today. You go over to the offices and you can have it immediately. And you'll make a determination.
And on something else, these Trende Aragua guys, because of your executive order, they are designated as foreign terrorists.
Yeah.
If ISIS or Al-Qaeda foreign terrorists were operating here in the United States, cops would probably be shooting first and asking questions later. And so what is the difference between terrorists, between somebody like an ISIS or an Al-Qaeda operative versus a MS-13 or Trende Aragua?
Well, these are people that focus on destroying people in their homes. They're not as international in that sense. They're a group of thugs. They come from Venezuela. They come from the prisons of Venezuela. They're very dangerous people, but they didn't look so dangerous when the guards took care of the situation from El Salvador. Really, and I want to thank the president. He's a friend of mine. He's done a great job. But
didn't look so tough.
I just can't imagine that the Democrats are taking this issue where they want to have them back. So now they have men playing in women's sports. They have transgender for everyone. They have open borders. They have all of their crazy policies that are, I think, 95-5, not 90-10, okay? And their new policy is, let's bring Trende Aragua back into our country. Let's bring the worst. These are the worst gang members there are. They looked amazingly frail, though, by the way they were handled. It's very amazing. They weren't, when they were in Colorado cutting the fingers off a man because he made a phone call to the police, they seemed a lot tougher then than they did.
Funny how that works.
When they were having their head shaved and they were in shackles. They're tough people. They're bad people. We don't want them in our country. We can't let a judge say that he wants him. He didn't run for president. He didn't get much more than 80 million votes.
All right, I'm gonna leave it at that with Trumpo. I just wanted to hear that one. But yeah, no, the Trende Aragua thing is crazy. But that plane, that's what I'm interested in. I'm wondering if it can hit altitudes of the SR-71. Is that SR-7, SR-71, the Blackbird? I wonder if it can get up that high. I don't know if the drones would be able to function and get back down to what they need to do at that distance. So I'd assume if it did, it would have to come down from altitude, right? Because the drones, they can't have that much life on them unless these are huge ass drones. I mean, he made it sound like there's an army of drones. And a lot of our drones, guys, are not these tiny drones that you see that are like what I have, those little helicopter drones. These things are giant missile-looking things, a lot of them. So, and a lot of them are piloted by a living person over here at home on our territory, flying these things across the country via remote control. A bunch of video game nerds going pew, yeah, just like that, scientifically. Quote from Moo Juice. I love you. Anyway, yeah, I'm really interested to see what this plane does. And if it's supposed to be less expensive, that is cool, but also kind of worrisome. And the fact that Boeing's making it brings me pause. Their current workload, or their current chain of things hasn't been great, but a lot of that could be up to also the airline maintenance schedules and stuff. I mean, when you produce 100,000 planes and 5 planes fail, that's still not a bad number, but it's not a good number. If you produce 1 million of something and 5 things fail, totally different. If you produce 10 of something and 5 of them fail, it's a complete failure. Like, you can't have that margin of error at 50% when it comes to airplanes. So this is military technology, and I'm leery. I'm leery about the efficacy of this thing, but Hegseth seems to really believe in it, and over Trump, I'm listening to Pete Hegseth. And the Air Force guy, he's a general, so it's a little more difficult for me to believe a general. I much have a harder time with the suit than I do a guy that's actually a soldier who does the day-to-day grunt work shit. And Hegseth did the grunt work shit before he was where he was, or was where he is. So, and I don't know where this other general is. And thank him for his service. I don't mean to talk shit if you're a general. Do not get me wrong. I didn't serve at all. So don't get me wrong. It's just I've known the difference between generals and combatants and warfighters, and you'll hear Hegseth say this all the time, our warfighters, because he knows the difference. He knows the people that are boots on the ground are going to have a better knowledge base than the people sitting in a desk in D.C. You know, and with the Air Force thing, if there's drone pilots, man, those guys know war. They might not see it firsthand, but they're seeing it with their eyes because they're involved in it. You might not think so, but if you've ever read Ender's Game, it's kind of like that. It's scary stuff. And if this jet is that cool, if it's as cool as what they're saying, and if it's going to be that efficient and functional and lesser money for the taxpayer, I'm just interested to see more about it. I really am. And I know our enemies definitely are. That's going to be something to watch out for. And allies should definitely pay attention to this because America's not pissing around anymore. Not the next 4 years. And probably not the next 8. Or even longer. But just saying, probably not the next 12 years. Because after Trumpo's done, you can't imagine we're going to re-elect another Democrat into the office. I don't see it happening. They'll probably get Hegseth and Vance on the next ticket against Gavin Newsom because he's termed out for governor in California. And Newsom will probably pull on with somebody else, some girl or a transgender person or something. They won't pull anyone that's ever done anything important, ever, at all. Because they have to get, the identity politics is their thing. That's who they are. But this is really good news for our military if this plane works out, because China just released their goofy plane, their knockoff stealth bomber, their Timu stealth bomber, not too long ago. But this has been in the work for 5 years. That's pretty short development time, it feels like. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you in the Air Force? Do you have knowledge of aviation and stuff? Because I don't. I know I'm saying this stuff like I do, but I don't. I want to clarify. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know certain parts of things. I don't know much about aviation. I've never even been in a fucking airplane. I'm not a pilot. I know people that are drone pilots. I know pilots. I know people that have been, in situations where they're in aviation. Never been me. The Bible says, God says, "Lo, I am with thee." I know it's L-O. It's a joke, guys. But I don't try to take off the ground if I can avoid it. I'm getting too old for that. And falling, it's not the fall that scares me. It's a sudden stomp. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the direction of this plane and our military as Americans. If you're an American, if you're not an American, I don't give a shit what you think about my military. But you can tell me what you think about this jet and how cool that idea would be for your country. And if your country is developing something like that, let me know. I'm sure my government would love to know that. Just kidding. It's a joke. But I would like to know what you guys think about this. This is a pretty cool thing. As for the Trendy-Aragua thing, Aragua, no, I'm not doing it. The gang member thing. Yeah, domestic terrorists. They're bad people. They need to be kicked out. It's what it is. I just wanted to listen to that for a second because I rabbit trailed my own brain. I had a brain lapse. Anyway, I'm your buddy Moo Juice Magic. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I love you in the face. I'll catch you later. Oh, also, one more video from Demolition Ranch by Matt Carricker. So, Matt, we just want to say happy retirement. And to Demolition Ranch and everybody on Off the Ranch and everything else, thank you for all the years of entertainment. And you really pulled me out of a bunch of funks. When I get in depressed stages, that's usually the first place I go for wholesome entertainment. So we're going to miss you a lot, buddy. Kudos to you and to your family, and congratulations, man. You've earned it. Keep up the good work or whatever you're going to do now, and have fun. All right, I'm out. I'm going to go do something productive like smoke a cigar.